researching a lot of stuff for my lore, so it is subject to change with the more I learn. And you know, just like refining and editing and everything. But I am going to read out. I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm gonna read out a bit of my lore for you guys. And the idea of how my forms are connected. So you have like a base idea of why. It's kind of long. So a story time, I guess. So lore time. So you wanna know about my lore, huh? Well, once upon a time, there was a deep diver, well-trained and eager. They longed for exploration at the deepest levels possible. Diving in the ocean was their life. And they even worked saturation diving, which requires long periods of diving to reduce the required amount of decompressions in a dive. One day, they left the underwater habitat, sat diving, and they reached 700 meters, which is currently the lowest a diver has gone like that. They had an accident. They lost their life, and their body could only sink. Normally, something of a soul would seek light, passage to something beyond, to quiet, to nothing and everything that is after. Theirs could not. It was too deep, and it could not find its way. So that special thing inside of them, whatever bits that go unexplained in who and why we are, in some way mirroring the diver themselves, found itself going deeper and deeper and deeper. When finally at the ocean floor, it passed through a small, dormant polyp of a Turritopsis stoyanai, the immortal jellyfish. The polyp and remnants of the diver settled into one another. The polyp, dormant for 66 million years, began its life cycle again to form a medusa. With this soul-like thing, one with the polyp, however, the jellyfish became unlike others, an amalgamation of the essence of the diver with something around long before the diver species ever existed and ever walked. The diver, alive again, struggled to understand their new form. Mentally, they hit where they too physically were, rock bottom. But with time, all things change. Along with the sadness of loss of what they had before, excitement and curiosity slowly crept in for new possibilities. They began to learn balance, to save space for smiles amongst the tears. At some point, they even reached the surface again, and while things could never be again what they once were, they had a fondness for people. They would float and watch the lighthouses for hours on end, observe people from afar, and mourn losses of people that the ocean embraced. Eventually, they returned to the ocean floor and began building. They made a lighthouse of their own, with gentle glowing light, and an interior where air breathers could relax, read, and watch ocean from the windows. A safe haven for all those that reach rock bottom, to know even in the darkest places they are not alone and there is light. That is the main bit of my lore. So you may be wondering where the pound form comes in. And it's actually quite simple. In exploring too far from the ocean one day in an attempt to reach someone from their past, the diver, now ocean being, began to dry up. In desperation, they sought water from a pond nearby, but found themselves weakening and reverting to a polyp. Once a polyp, they adapted to become a Hydra viridissima, which is a pond hydra that is also theoretically immortal. It's in the same family as jellyfish, the Nidaria. So they found that in fresh water, they would become this hydra being, while in the ocean with salt water, they would become the jellyfish, which is me now. So, yeah, that's my lore.